Hey, how you doing? I'm up again, about 4 a.m. I have my tea. I always liked tea, even before tea became a part of the nomenclature and colloquialisms for, I guess would be the new word for gossip, but they're saying tea is truth. So I guess truthful conjecture, I don't know, gossipy, but yet truthful. Tea, T-E-A-T. I took a sip. Yeah, this is strong herbal tea. Miss Hill said, baptize my lips every time I take sips. Anywho, I'm up again. Well, I slept and I got up to tingle and can't get back to sleep. So I said, oh, what the heck, do a video. What is this, Wednesday morning, the 23rd of August, 2017, Gregorian. Can y'all hear me? I hope y'all can hear me. I guess so. I'm hoping. Should I turn the volume up? I think the volume is up. Hold on, let me see. I don't want to talk loud because I don't. Let me turn it up a little bit. Okay, yeah, I don't want to talk loud and, wake up folks, you know what I mean? But I wonder if that make a difference, the volume. Y'all know I'm not a techie savvy chica. Anywho, I decided to title this video Healing Retreats. Healing Retreats. I was just reflecting. When you reach my age, I'm in the upper 40s, you begin to reflect. This is also in books and stuff. It was in Taj to Taj to Lord. Peace, Taj. I love your videos. I've met you in person, in school, in classes. Never mind, I digress. Taraji P. Henson, her memoir. She spoke to that too. How, when you get older, you begin to reflect. Reflecting and here, speaking for me, reflecting and lamenting, on the past, and say experience is the best teacher. And shout out to Mickey Howard and her classic hit song. And it really, really is. It's the best teacher. I'm sorry, something caught my attention. I think I left that on. I'm in the dark now, but I saw a light flicker and I'm like, did I leave something? Hold on, what is that? I don't know. What's this? I have no. Never mind, y'all. Just want to cut things off. Keep the bills low if you can. Conserve energy. My channel is a Capricorn. Yeah, the channel's been up for a while, but uploading videos has been new to me. As you can see, I still prefer my anonymity. I didn't add any bells and whistles to this. I don't know how to do the editing thing just yet. I'm trying to find someone in the family, young, to do it for me. Family won't charge you too much. They really like you. They won't charge you at all. Hold on, let me get a sip. Anyway, yeah, I was just, thinking back on healing retreats. Yeah. Why I brought the channel being a Capricorn? It's been born in Oh, yeah, Capricorn conserves. Yes, I won't do many videos. And like I said, it takes energy to do these things. I admire the people who are prolific with it. Just crank them out. Wow. I've been called a prolific writer by 3 or more people. Those people don't even know each other. They just read my writing. Not bragging, but it was the truth. So writing, I've been called prolific, but I doubt if I'll be called that with these videos at this stage of the game, because it's work. Yeah, again, I'm whispering. I don't want to wake up people. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, I hope you can hear me. I guess when I play back, I'll find out. Yeah. I told myself I has 52 subbies now. Hey, y'all, welcome. And click the bell, or, peep the archives thus far. And I told myself I'm not going to let the video count exceed the subby count. Is that ego? I don't know. I don't feel like I have that kind of ego, but I just want it to make sense. I do it as an outlet. It's great when people do see them, but I heard on another channel that they do the hidden hand that be, as Z would say, the powers that shouldn't be. I stopped watching this channel, but I do like that phrase because we've been hearing the powers that be for so long, and that should just be the creator of the sun, whatever power it is that created the sun and moon and things, stars of that nature. That's why I love astrology so much. But anywho, yeah, but the ones that are into oppressing and enslaving and deception, Zebra's, well, he has a channel and he refers to them as the powers that shouldn't be. So I never heard of shouldn't inserted in. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Wait a minute. Okay. So yeah. Anywho, but thanks for that. I've been picked that up from him. But where was I? Yeah, you just begin to reflect. I have another video where I speak about lupus, so I shared that with y'all already. If you hadn't heard it, you can check in on the library, the archive, and get my take on that. I may do another lupus video, yeah, or not. It's enough to deal with it. More or less talk about it. I don't know, but yeah, I was denied. That I could tell was a lot of legalese. I'm like, maybe I have to reread this again, or with more of a legal mind. I'll have my 95 credits in legal studies, but yeah, very informal. It was a letter. The card of the day I got that day I got the letter was end of an era. So I'm like, an end of an era? Well, what's been going on so long that it's come to an end? I'm trying to think. I'm like, it must be that, So I'm thinking you get a letter to come in and they tell you in person you're not getting it, Most egos, thrill in such a thing if they have that kind of ego. But yeah, that day I got the letter that, with all my medical proof, the letter stated I'm not disabled. I'm like, but there's doctors who said I am. Doctors with licenses in the medical field, they, documented in writing that I am. The lupus is very debilitating, extreme in my case, the pain, the daily pain. But folks up in the legal court system said I'm not. I guess because I filled out the applications process honestly, to the best of my knowledge in that moment. I didn't even know that they can use that, but they found some case law where they use that I put, I do my laundry. I still do it in pain, but the fact that I do my laundry, from what they're saying, do my laundry and go to the grocery store and things of that nature for self-care, that I'm not disabled. Again, never mind the medical doctors say I am. Yeah, those things you have to do for hygiene and things of that nature, but they're done in pain. I don't know, y'all. But I appealed and appealed and appealed and appealed, and I'm all appealed out. It's just too much. It sort of feels personal. Did I tell you about when a judge asked me my religion? And state and religion can't mix. This is on their website. It's on the applications and things of that nature. And I was in the hearing, just, going along with the flow and things of that nature. The lawyer was there from Bender and Bender. And it was a weird moment with him after the hearing, too, y'all. When he asked my religion, I was so put off. I was taken aback because I was like, huh? What did I look like that day? Did I look religious? Whatever that looks like to him, I have no idea. But then I reminded him that, the website and the paperwork says that question is optional. The state and religion can't mix. And he was like, oh, no, I'm just asking for me. I'm curious. And I'm, looking at the lawyer to object, and I don't know. And these hearings are taped, so I don't know if there's a mechanism or doohickey where he can stop the tapings for certain questions and resume it or edit it out. I have no idea, but I thought that was strange. So no, I didn't answer it. Until this day, I think I was denied that second time and third. Well, the third time probably because they want to be in solidarity with that law judge, administrative law judge, I think is what it's called. Like not a judge, not an Article 3, but is it an administrative? Is it de facto? I have to Google again. But anywho, that's just supposed to be a healing retreat. I digress. Get on. Okay, there's a digress-centric channel here. You don't like it? Click off. But anywho, sorry, I had some tea. Yeah, but just reflecting on that, and then healing retreats and things of that nature. Yeah, isn't that strange? Oh no. Oh yeah, after the hearing, the strange thing, the lawyer asked me to wait for him before I left out the building, and I'm thinking he was in this little room the lawyers can speak with clients. So I waited for him in the room, and he came in there, and he said to me, Caucasian attorney, in case whoever's curious to know these details, I'm a writer, so it's detailed oriented over here. And he said to me, I'm thinking he's about to be as agog and aghast as I was that he would ask a religious question in a hearing. I was like agog, and he came and he said, I'm thinking about to say, did you believe what he said? And something shocking, like he was shocked too. He was like, why didn't you answer him? Now, I knew exactly what he meant as soon as he asked that question, but now I'm agog at him. I'm like, huh? Because I was totally taken aback. The hearing, the administrative law judge, he looked Hispanic. He has a Hispanic surname, but he felt Caucasian in frequency, if you get my drift, and handsome too. Isn't it hurtful when handsome people or good-looking people hurt? I know y'all say nose be the one. Okay, it didn't. I'm gonna say KRS One. Didn't Kanye West say in his movie, be the prettiest people that didn't he, not the movie, the song, one of his hit songs. Kanye said it'd be the prettiest people that act. So I never mind. Anywho, but it's still painful when handsome hurts you. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, I know you're like, hell, it's painful with anybody. Touche. But yeah, so the lawyers asked me, why didn't you answer him? And I'm sitting there like, because the paperwork in the website says that question is optional. He was like, yeah, no. As if the lawyer knew something I didn't know. Hold on, y'all. Patience. Hold on, I get some tea. Oh, it's still morning, y'all. Hold on. Some tea. Patience. It's a virtue. Hold on. Oh, click off. But ones who stay irrational minds with patience and virtuous people. Okay, I'm gonna continue resuming. So yeah, so the lawyer too was not shocked that he said it, shocked that I didn't answer. But I figure he must have been dealing with that court and knows that judge methodology. The ego is so fragile. These are men, the male ego. Y'all can Google it for fragile and frivolity. That's frivolous. Fragile and frail. Is frailty a word? I know fragility. Never mind. Y'all Google about the ego if you're not sure. The downside of the ego, how frail it can be. And I learned that in psychology class, okay? I told you I got 95 credits in legal studies. I'm still trying to get a degree. Tweet this to lawyers that can help there, okay? wisdomwand@gmail, if you can help me get these last 25 credits. I've exhausted the financial aid and a whole other story. And then the school, email me if you're going to do your not free pro bono. What is it? Double thing? Not entendre. If you're going to do the pro bono, once a year. You're supposed to do it once a year, right? Y'all tweet this out to lawyers, okay? Because I do want to get the degree for my mama before the lupus get my ass. Y'all, this daily pain is a bitch. But anywho, where was I? Yeah, so the lawyer was shocked that I didn't answer it. And I'm shocked that he's shocked about something like that. Unless he knows, hindsight is 20/20. He must know that particular, this is all theory now, he must know that particular judge could deny you just for refusing to answer some personal individual quip or curiosity. And he said it. He said, oh, I know, but I'm curious. When I reminded him that question is optional, meaning the person don't have to answer it because state and religion can't mix. It's not supposed to. Google it, okay? Google. So yeah. So sure enough, denied the second time. Hold on. It's been years and years with that. So anyway, as you know, Moors say when you study with Moors and people study outside the box, like, you know, it's all colorable. And I still was like, I've worked for years. I've worked for so long for the city. And, you know, it's not like you're seeking anything free for your pain. You've actually worked when you were able-bodied and put into the system. You've contributed to the societal pot. And that's what you probably can't even recoup all you've contributed, especially if you worked for over a decade like I did for the city of New York at that. You see what I'm saying? But in any who, I never saw it as they giving you. I guess they may see it that way. The ego is very wily. Y'all Google wily and the ego. W-I-L-Y, wily. Go and Google it. So I guess they may see it as they're giving you something, not that you've already worked and contributed to the societal pot. Not to mention ancestral slavery. Oh, jeez. That, to me, that's a sacrifice in of itself, to contributing to the country, if not the globe, through slavery. But again, a wily ego wouldn't see it that way. But I'm just venting, y'all. Yeah. So, in reflecting, I thought of Prodigy's a Prodigy quote, the late rapper, hip-hop legend, Rising Power, R.I.P. Prodigy, who made a transition this past June. I was looking at a video. Of course, when these things happen, we tend to look at their interviews, and not you, but, you know, most of us, a lot of people, especially if we went to old school hip-hop and real hip-hop, as we like to say, when they make the transition, you just start looking at their videos and their interviews, and anywhere where they're spoke about in a revered way. And I saw a live concert Havoc did, and they had Prodigy on the screen in the backdrop, showing him interviewing and things of that nature. And he said something, and I was like, that is so true. He said, pain makes you spiritual. It does. Pain makes you spiritual. It makes you very, very reflective and introspective too, especially if you know you didn't deserve it and you don't deserve it, that you can recall, because that's when I really, really wanted to say, wanted to and did do those past life retro readings and things of that nature, and finding well and highly recommended spiritual people and mediums who can, because I was always into astrology. I don't want to say I was always a truth seeker, although that is from the school of thought I come from, you know, astro ciphers. That is still seeking truth. You know, what is going on in the sky, and what is that up there, and what does all that mean in constellations and fixed stars, and that is a seeking truth to us, to our community. If you're not astro-minded, this ain't for you. But I never called it that. It was just so natural. When they say it chooses you and you don't choose it, it has to be the truth, because I've always been, and people will tell you this, your friends in junior high school, I've had friends, maybe elementary, but, you know, not as intensively studying. The studies got intense with my first Saturn retrograde. I was 29 when I found Mama I's class in Miss Aisha Grice. Yeah, thank you, Mama I. You know, just totally stumbled into, I don't even want to say stumbled, just led, the ancestor led to that class. I was walking to work. I think I told a story in another video. I was walking to work, and I decided not to walk on Hillside because I didn't want to go to Baskin Robbins, because I would stop and buy something, which would neutralize all the walking I just did. So I said, let me walk down Jamaica Avenue and past the African Poetry Theater, and saw her no sign, and she was teaching a workshop class. Oh, man, I was like, work who and work where? I'm going to be late today. And I just went upstairs, and yeah. But anyhow, learned so much. But that was around that time. The study in astrology became very serious for me. It still is. A student daily. But yeah, the term truth seeker, you know, I get it, because if the masses have been deceived, that's the case, and there's so many social injustices and social inequalities, things that just don't even make sense, and everybody wants to be perceived as smart and good. Yeah, do you know anyone who doesn't want to be perceived as smart and good? Even bullies, including bullies and dictators, they want to be perceived as smart and good. So you know, and then for me to later learn that in psychology and sociology classes and anthropology, I'm like, yeah, that's true. Everybody, even if they don't even feel that they're good, you know, within themselves, good or smart per se, they want to be perceived as that. You know what I mean? So when things happen that just don't make sense, it makes you wonder, like, what was so desperately needed in their mind? What did they need that bad to just throw intellect and logic and sanity to the wind to exact that misdeed? You know, just being reflexive and impulsive. Animals are impulsive. So what is so needed that they will, you know, reduce to their lower nature, their base nature, and become barbaric like an animal to achieve what need? And whatever need it is short-lived. It's like the ego is very stingy. So it's short-term gratification in doing misdeeds. And to me, in this context right now, misdeed is harming someone who hadn't harmed you or yours. You know, the chances are, especially when we're speaking about something called racism, they don't even know you. You have this type of unbridled, barbaric passion for a stranger. That's even as a young little girl, I thought that was weird. I guess because it's so hard for me as an individual to conjure up passion for people I know. Could have a passionate connection to? I don't know. I guess I've been cerebral so long, always thinking and wanting to know why and what's the science behind this or that. To become passionate towards someone I don't know is, my neurons can't do it. I don't know. Yeah, that to me, that's really psychotic. When you have a vitriol, passionate sensation for a stranger. All you know is the color of their skin, but you don't know them personally. To have a personal feeling like that within your person. Again, just my take. You're entitled to yours, and others entitled to theirs. Yeah, just so these societal sores and societal wound, and it makes you very, very spiritual, and it makes you truth seek, because you want to know, well, who are we that they focus on us like this? You know what I mean? And of course, we're not going to believe that we're as bad as they make us out to be. If that were the case, then we would be oppressing and enslaving them. It wouldn't be the other way around. So I wouldn't believe their definition of us. You know what I mean? And it's sort of crazy to believe someone outside of yourself in regards to who you are. So, you know, you seek melanated faces to get their take on these societal crimes and societal sores. So, yeah. Just a truth seeker, you know. I used to go to the Dempsey on Wednesdays. I believe it was Wednesday evenings, or nearly every Wednesday. I did not do overtime. On my former job, they had something called mandatory overtime, where they would force you to do it. Now, some people liked it. They loved the overtime. They loved the money. And I used to, you know, negotiate. Will you work mine? When, you know, when I'm scheduled to do it, when you do mine. Now, if the supervisor was cool, they didn't mind. You know, they just want a body on that post. But if it was personal, and the sergeant didn't like you, or you know, it was personal, they won't even let it happen. You know, they know you don't want to stay. And I would just run the risk of getting written up. I'm like, listen, so-and-so said they'll do it. I don't understand why can't they do it. You just want the job done, right? I have to go. You know, I cannot stay on Wednesdays, period. Because I was going to the Dempsey, to the class in Harlem. Hold on. Yeah. Then I had a friend, a bestie. We was a romantic note in the 80s. And then we got platonic. And then we reunited in 99, I believe. So he's definitely still a perpetual student, vivacious reader. So we would swap books. He would give me books and give me, you know, literature and things to read. So, yeah, again, my truth seeking started around age 29, 28. And not to seem smart and lofty or things like that. Who cares? Is their prize? It's to really know why. Why is this happening? What is going on? You know what I mean? Why? You find the why, you can find the magic I, you know, you, self, if you know what I'm saying. So in soul seeking, there's things called healing retreats. You know, these things come up, and when you can afford them, you know, because I've always had, well, who don't in this country, bills, you know, rent, utilities, things of that nature. So it would take great fiscal effort to save for retreats and such and things of that nature. On my part, I bet you I wanted to do overtime then when I wanted to go somewhere. Yeah, and I went on vacations too, here and there with the girls, and I was single then. It's in my 30s, y'all. So I'm gonna just share a few experiences from a couple of retreats that come off the mind. I mean, right off the cuff right now. In 2011, December of 2011, I went to a retreat in not a monastery. What is it? A convent? Where the women, the nuns, because the monks are in monasteries, right? So it's the nuns in the convent. Yeah, the convent I went to. And the retreat, now this is how I even heard about this. It was called the Healing Retreat, given by my former friend and former neighbor. We lived next door to each other in the 90s, the early 90s, for about, I don't know, 3 to 4 years. We were in that apartment 5 years. But I think we moved in before she did. Yeah, I think maybe 3 to 4 years. And then she moved to Maryland. But anywho, she's about 10 years my senior. She's one of the ones, she and Terry McMillan, and they both air signs too, and interesting. She inadvertently, it wasn't like I don't think like a deliberate cheerleading thing, but motivating thing. But she, like, inadvertently, unwittingly rather, is a better word, unwittingly inspired me to write my memoir. She did. She inspired me to write as my 5th grade teacher. Blessings be upon her spirit. RRP, Rise in Power, Miss Lewis. She inspired that, not just me, the whole class, to write, keep a journal, a diary. She said that tool is the best way to get to know yourself, she said to the class. Be 5th grade now. They're 10 years old. She said, try not to never get to know yourself through the eyes of another, if you will, especially through the eyes of an adversary. And we're a little like adversary. Well, what does that mean? Because she read our facial expressions and went ahead and told us, what does adversary mean? I got into vocabulary heavy with my own mom and my mom's sister, whose their vocabulary is extensive, especially her sister, Virgo, good heavens. So, and then with this teacher, Miss Lewis, my vocabulary extended, because she was always pulling that out of us to extend a speech. But she was the first to say, and got us little notebooks. She said, you know, not the big composition notebook, because she said, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by this project. And if you feel comfortable with me reading it, after 2 weeks, let me read it. I'll read them, and I won't write in them. I'll just read them and write something on a separate piece of paper if need be, and put that in a diary and give them back to you. That'd be just the one time, and that'd be it. But, you know, every day for 2 weeks, just write how your day went. You know, she's told us. And don't be concerned about trying to impress, or just write exactly how the day went and what came to mind in different incidents or observations. You know, what was the first thing that came to mind. So she really got me thinking about how to think through the day. See, I could blame Miss Lewis. Yeah, just to be a thinker, you know. I still was oblivious a lot too. As Truman Capote said, oblivion is not such a bad place to be. The author. Shout out to him, R.I.P. But anywho, yeah, so she got me writing and things of that nature. But I still never thought of writing a memoir. I thought stuff like that was for celebrities, you know, although you go to the library and bookstores, there's thousands upon thousands of memoirs written by non-public figures, if you will. But it's still a thought that didn't cross my mind until my neighbor told me to do so while she was having like a group in her living room. And they were her friends, all in their 30s. I was the only one there in my 20s, and I felt privileged to be there. They let the youngin' in. And they were talking about the book Disappearing Acts by Terry McMillan. And I made a comment like, I wonder who did she date before Franklin. Franklin is it's fiction, but after her baby father sued her, we got the gist that that book was fiction based on faction, if you will. He didn't win, but anyway, I digress. In that discussion, my next door neighbor looked at me and said, well, you write it. Because, I was like, well, it's always the curiosity of the love experience before you met the one, the one you married or had a baby with, and you know what I mean? The path, the froggy path before you meet your prince. I'm always curious about the backstory. Yeah, I can charge it to my fourth house that you know what I'm saying, healed. But anywho, so I'm on and on about who could have came before Franklin. I'm thinking Terry McMillan's from Brooklyn at this time. I think the story's Brooklyn based. And I'm like, all the cuties in Brooklyn, could you imagine? And, high school. And I on it. And then my neighbor looked at me, you write it, girl. You write the book you want. Stop wanting Terry to write that book. You write that book. Real, just very matter of fact. Not mean-spirited, not catty. Just very matter of fact, very college woman, educated woman. My neighbor is, you know what I mean? So I think was she in Queens College at that time? I don't know, but she inspired me to go back to school. She inspired me to write my memoirs. So she was like the big sister I never had, this neighbor here. Anywho, so fast forward to Healing Retreat. So that's the 90s when we were neighbors and friends. So 2011, we linked up again on Facebook. I searched her name. I couldn't find it at first. I can't spell her marital surname, so I thought I couldn't spell it correctly. No, her maiden name. So I was like, I don't know if I got the spelling right. And then with her marital name is very common. So back then, that's when Facebook, I think, was good. Not as good as it was back in before 2011. Facebook was so much fun. Isn't that the same only with life? Like hip hop was really good in the beginning. Life was good before the colonialists. Life itself all over the planet was good and pure and clean and organic and pre-colonial days. Everything seems to start off sane, balanced, and good. This has been a running pattern. The reference for that is Howard Zinn's history book, 1492 to present. I would only trust early editions. I don't know if they're going to alter latter editions. Just my theory and take, okay? You can get your Google on for that. But yeah, y'all check history. The truthful side of history. Things seem good in the beginning. Even relationships, look at love and romance. It's really good from the gate in most cases. And then somehow it just devolves. That ego seems to make it all. The downside of the ego, to be specific. I know there's a healthy side of the ego. Like putting on clothes to go outside. That's ego. That's sane and healthy. Hold on, I need some tea. Let me get parched talking. Well, as you know. But anywho, what is my venting, my outlet? You can click off. Not you rational minds. You get that it's my outlet. Anywho, so yeah. So she gives a retreat. Back before the 2011 retreat. I think we reconnected in either 2010 or 2011, the earlier part of 2011 on Facebook. I couldn't find her at first. Her name was too common because I'm looking for her first name and her marital name. Very common. We used to write each other by hand, longhand, in the late part of the 90s, I think. When did we stop writing each other? Because she had moved to Maryland and I had moved to the Poconos, and during that period we were writing each other. She was so happy, like, what happened, you moved? And we weren't in a really bad neighborhood or bad building, just small apartments, so you upgrade or whatever. But the neighborhood did go down after a while. I had heard once I left, and I heard a couple of things before we left, But one incident inspired us, okay, we got to go. But still, it was, decent section, Queens, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, but somehow we just stopped writing each other. I don't know why. No beef, nothing like that. Just the writing, it was strong at first. And didn't I just say the beginnings things, and then it just tapers off. So fast forward, that's still the 90s, late 90s, and then maybe early 2000s, the letters tapered off. But don't you just miss writing? Maybe, if you're a young person listening to it, you're like, hell no, I'm not writing a long ass letter, longhand. But yeah, back in the days, you just wrote letters. So cool, Anywho, so 2010 or 2011, we found each other. Because, oh yeah, I said, well, her daughter's name is Unique. Because you look for unique things that come up, and sure enough, she came up quick because it's unique. And I said hi, because I haven't seen her daughter since she was a baby. Maybe 2 years old. So now in 2010, she's a big girl, maybe high school, I don't know. So I said, hi, inbox, you don't know me. I was your neighbor, your mom, and da-da-da-da. And then her mom, like maybe an hour or so later, the mom, not the daughter, but the mom uses the email of her daughter inbox and inboxes me back. Oh my goodness, how are you? How in the world are you? And we're talking back and forth, and she sends me the request because I said, your name is too common, I can't find you. She said, no, I'll send one to you. And then we were talking on the inbox for a little while. It was pretty cool. Then we started talking on the emails, but not the phone. Not the phone right off. We didn't exchange. I think that's a digital age. No, I didn't send shade. I didn't have any shade. Not offering my number. She knew of hers. I just went with the flow of how it was flowing through the email. First Facebook inbox, and then through the emails. Back and forth exchange. It was flowing pretty good. The phone numbers didn't come towards to the end of 2011 when we were synchronizing time slots and things of that nature for the retreat. So let me tell you how we got to the retreat. I get an email from her, which isn't abnormal because I tell you we was corresponding through the emails for a little while. And but this email wasn't a note, hey, how you doing? And she's a pastor now, advanced degrees. I'm so proud of her. Very studious and a pastor, like theology school, graduated. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. So impressed. She used to be into astrology and numerology too, but she, as she wrote in the letter back then, she had to put those books down and pick up the Bible and things of that nature. And of course, I don't judge anything like that. I'm definitely not the fire and brimstone Christian when I was into Christianity, and definitely not the fire and brimstone astrologer. Whatever soothes your heart and heals you, and what I mean. As long as what you're doing is not hurting children or hurting people. Like I said, there's many roads that lead to the market or whatever. I forgot the saying. But anyhow, I'm just not that girl. And she used to always say that because we're the same sign. She used to say, our sign, live and let live. I'm like, oh, yeah. In a sane sense, not live and let live if you're harming children, okay? And be specific here in context. But I'm like, wow, yeah, I can see that frequency being attached to our, sun sign. But anywho, I get the email as a flyer that she's giving a healing retreat in the woods in a convent. Now, I have always, I don't know, I just didn't do it because I don't know if I could, I didn't think I could do it. But did y'all see the Odd Couple episode when Felix and Oscar went to I think they went to the monastery. Is monastery monks? I think convent is the women. I'm going to Google when I get off here, y'all. But they went to a monastery for silence, a silent retreat. And I'm going to tell you how ironic, kooky ironic this is. I don't even call it kooky. No disrespect. I'm getting to the point. Be patient. So I've always wanted to do that. And then when I met Mama I in a workshop, she was talking about 10 days of silence. I forgot how many days Oscar and Felix did. I love the Odd Couple, y'all. It just cheers me up. You could be depressed. Look at that. It feels much better for me. I love the Odd Couple. And just them. I don't love all phases of the Odd Couple. I think the Lemon guy came, Jack Lemmon. I forgot that there was somebody, a duel before them. Not bad. Walter Matthau and somebody else. But I love the Tony Randall and Jack Klugman one much, much better. I do. And I definitely do not dig or look at the subsequent ones over the years. They even had the melanated version. The guy from Sanford and Son. I just couldn't get into anything but the Jack Klugman and Tony Randall. And my great aunt Martha, blessings be to her spirit. She used to work in the building over there in Manhattan, Upper West Side. She worked in his building. She was friends with his domestic. She was like, hey, miss, if I knew you liked Tony Randall, I could get you. Because I think he passed away at what year? I forget. She was like, you could have met him. I didn't know you liked. Oh my God, I love the Odd impossible. Anyway, I digress. I can read about that in memoir. She said, oh, heavens. I still used to go to that building because I think one of the domestics that work in another floor, some other rich people, rich, Caucasoids. I don't know if they Jews. I have no idea. But she used to go there and get the 7-Up cake. She said, I used to buy my Coca-Cola cake and 7-Up cake from her. I still went to the building to pick up my cakes. And I could have took you with me. And she would have went downstairs and introduced you because they're friends with the domestic of Tony Randall. Never mind. I digress, y'all. Read the memoir. I know you're like, well, as soon as you publish it, we can. Anyhow, that's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, yeah, they went that episode. I was like, I would love to do a retreat like that where you have to be silent. Now, I try to do, no, I do. I can do 24 hours of silence for certain things. But I used to do off-Broadway plays. The director, R.I.P. Titus Walker, blessings be upon your spirit. I share. Yeah, the director, you know, I did a lot of off-Broadway plays. This one was like a nice location. It was like right behind Lincoln Center. We did plays there near Lincoln Center. Anyway. He would say, be quiet, try to be silent for 24 hours before showtime. So I can do that for art and, you know, things of that nature. But 10 days of silence? And if you get caught talking, you get kicked out of the retreat. This was on the Odd Couple. And then I heard about that's really real like that. So Mama I was telling us about 10 days of silence upstate New York. This is the late 90s, early 2000s. And I think it's gratis. You just could give a love donation or something like that. But like no set fee. It wasn't back then. I don't know what it is today. So I've been curious about doing that for the longest. But sort of scared, like, can I? Even though they don't spank you, you just got to leave if you get caught talking. But could you imagine the embarrassment? And I think they escort you out in silence. It's like... I had an ex-friend, let's call him what his name is in the memoir, his pseudonym, Devin. Devin was on the phone, Gemini. He was on the phone with me back then, like, is it like big goons and monk, you know, brown hooded gear that, you know, put you out in silence? I think they drive you to the Greyhound bus, all that's like in silence. Funny as hell. Hold on, let me get some tea. I was like, I don't know, but the whole scene, could you imagine? As you can see, I'm quite loquacious. Would I even make it to the second day? I don't know. Anyway, so but on my at my friend, the pastor, her healing retreat is required. Talking is required because you sit in a circle and you talk like group therapy. But I got the flyer and the email. It was expensive. It was over $200, and the budget is lean, very lean. No shame. I know we're programmed to be shamed about being fiscally poor, cash low to cash no. I never ascribed to that programming. Again, I guess how I was raised. My mom raised me, you should feel ashamed if you do something to deliberately hurt people. So if enslavers and oppressors aren't ashamed, I'm not going to be ashamed for being fiat low or fiat no sometimes. Your ascension, I'm not into Christianity anymore, but what they said, the camel has a better chance of getting through the eye of a needle than a rich man trying to buy his way into heaven. So your ascension has to do with your heart and your soul and the balance and purity of that. It has nothing to do with your fiat levels. Nada. Nathan, okay. Go on and look at that Dr. W. Blair video with the title Vampires in the title. I hope they left it up. But hear what he says about ascension and military. Go. Just listen closely, okay? Fast forward if you got patience over. I forgot the marker. But when he said that, I took to really studying what's required for you to ascend. I'm not talking about self-defense. Someone physically hit you and you reflexively physically defend yourself. I'm talking about deliberately harming someone who's not harming you, who's done nothing to you. Okay? With that guy on Gil Noble, Like It Is, 1983, it aired. John Stockton, I think that was his name. And he totally, I never heard bullying put so eloquently. He totally admitted it. He said, we designate certain people, I'm paraphrasing, we designate certain people as enemies to maintain certain systems. Have you heard bullying put as eloquently as that? I'll go and repeat it. This is what he said. We designate certain people as enemies to maintain certain systems. Like they did nothing to us, but we're going to target them and harm them to maintain our agenda. that's 1983. Does life seem much different under their auspices today? It's a question. I don't know. A video in the Irie song at the end where she goes, "Ain't nothing that I'm saying is law. There's a true life learned lessons. True was true life learned. And I'm sitting here to share with you. So go on and share." Yeah, that's the song. Hold on, let me get my tea. I'm at 45 minutes, y'all. I ain't complete the whole healing. I guess I just talked about this one healing retreat. Maybe I can get Costa Rica in. I don't know. But in the event, 2011 December, and you can read the memoir. What was the theme of this healing retreat? But we're sitting in a circle, and her assistant, I didn't even realize that was her assistant because she wasn't there from the beginning, the very day one. Her assistant, I thought she came late and she just was another member of the circle, you know. And her assistant, early on, I think we was having, because the nuns, they cook for you, we was having lunch or something, and across from the cafeteria, she just looked at me and was like, "I have to work with you." And I'm looking at her like, "Well, who is she?" Again, I had no idea. I knew she was melanated, so I knew she wasn't part of the nun squad. She was part of my former friends and the pastor's invitee, you know what I mean? And again, I told you we had to scrap up to find that money for me to go. I had to take a mega bus down there. No one forced me, but she sent the email, and I was telling the email, "I don't know if I can afford this," and then we spoke on the phone, and she told me what it's about, and I was like, "That's why I can't complete stuff." You're reading the memoir, the details. That was the I guess the linchpin, if you will, that got me to really beg Papa for the money. Like, "We have to find this money. I gotta go," because I just thought I was just a procrastinator and just didn't complete it because hell, I didn't feel like I was lost interest. I don't know. Retrogrades too, as an astro mind, from per my studies, retrogrades can make you repeat or not complete things. I just charged it to that. I had no idea that you're reading the memoir when you get to the details of the story is why, if you're having trouble completing things and completing tasks and finishing things to fruition, there could be a reason for that in this life and past lives. So I may just stick with this one retreat. I don't think I'll get to Costa Rica, y'all, because it shouldn't be past no hour. I'm at 47 minutes, y'all. Anywho, I'll try and fit in Costa Rica. No, Costa Rica need a whole nother video. But I don't want to do 2 healing retreat videos. Look at me negotiating with my ego, y'all. Whatever I'm in. Anyway, listen to me. So I'm like, "Girl, were y'all listening? Been 47 damn minutes of my ears here. When you get to the point." Touche. Okay, so she talked the phone. She talks me into coming and whatnot. I'm like, I always like a cute little getaway. It's cool to get away. And then the mega bus, I heard that if you get that seat up top in the front, my auntie, shout out to Aunt Vic. Hey, Vic. She said, "Get that seat up top, upstairs in the front. You got to, don't wait in the back of the line. Get there on time. Because that seat," she said, "is fun. It's like you driving the bus, but you ain't. Oh, man," she said, "you put on your music. You have your book. You right there like you at the, oh, y'all, I got that seat." I was like, "This is dope." Oh, honey, I wanted the whole dog. I didn't even want nobody sitting next to me. Remember, I was ready to sing Window Seat Erykah Badu. That song came out in 2010. I think I was singing that, but I had it to self, okay? It was like, okay, we're not going to sit next to the crazy fat lady up front singing where Erykah Badu, "I don't want nobody next to me," on full swallow singing, okay? Get in. The voice was cute. Okay, the voice was cute. But yeah, I was just happy riding down there. Then the cab was expensive to the convent. And then he said he gave me something. The cab was $28. I said, $28? What the hell? In New York, you go into a whole nother borough for that price. How many miles is it? A whole nother borough? Because, most Maryland people know New York. He was like, "Well, I don't know. It's like another borough." We sitting there talking funny. He said, "But I'm giving you a discount. This is a $40 drive. A $40 drive." And, of course, family and friends is like, if that was your neighbor and, like, your big sister, why didn't she just pick you? Is there a church van? Because I think this is part of her church. She get them to, I don't know. They said, "It's no church van that can get you." There's no way she could have came and got you. Could have gave them the gas money. You could have gave them $20 in gas money. I said, maybe she wasn't thinking like that. And they was like, "And y'all was friends?" I'm like, "Look, I'm grown. I'm not relying on her wheels or her church van wheels. Look. So it was a pricey trip, y'all. So I paid him the cab fare to get there. I said once there, because you know the Fiat is lean. If I was as lean as my Fiat, I'll be svelte. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, while I'm there, hopefully I can, with another participant, hopefully I can offer them some gas money, good Samaritan money to get me back to the Megabus parking lot. At that point, I wasn't going to even ask the pastor. We were neighbors and friends. Just chilling with our kids and talking, and especially about astrology and numerology. She put me onto numerology. In the circle, she was like, "This is my fault. I told her this." I was like, "No, not astrology. That was stuck to me since I can remember junior high, elementary." I said, "Numerology, yes." She was the first to put me on to Lloyd Strayhorn and things of that nature. But no, not astrology. And even over the phone, I told her. She said it's going to be Bible based, and I told her, "Well, I won't be there trying to teach no astrology, but it slips out. It's my language. It's like Ricky Ricardo when he just starts speaking Spanish out of nowhere. It's my point of reference. It just spills out." Will anyone judge me? She said, no, it's a judge. Hear me out. It's a judge-free zone. No. I just want you to know that, although we'll be talking about the theme of the healing retreat, it's still going to be Bible-based. Keep in mind, y'all, that term, Bible-based. I don't know if you've been into Sunday school or Bible study, or if you're even a staunch Christian listening to this. If you're a staunch Christian listening to this, you already know, okay? I'm getting to the point. So, so I had my own room, and I thank her for that. They gave me the room that they put the fathers in, the priests, because I didn't want to be in the dorm type of thing. To me, a healing retreat, I don't want to be that grown in my 40s bunking, and I guess if you have to, but for over $200-something then I can stay at the local hotel. You can sell probably get a bargain at the Holiday Inn Express, that kind of money. So I'm like, maybe I can stay at the hotel nearby Holiday Inn or something and come on over. She was like, "No, there's rooms at the convent." I'm like, I don't want to really bunk and share. Not for that kind of money. Now, if it was cool, cute little $80 or something, then I can see you have to share. You know what I'm saying? Our Fiat is lean. The Fiat is lean. So that kind of Fiat, I wanted to feel like a vacation of sorts. She was like, "Well, I'll see what I can do." And I thank her for that, because I think she gave up her room. She's the she's a teacher. She's spearheading this. So they probably would give her one of the father's rooms. I don't know. The place is huge. Maybe she still had her own room. I didn't inquire. But she said on the phone, "If I have to give up my room, you're going to come. You need to be here." I'm like, okay. She's still like my big sister on the phone in my mind at that time. So I had my own room, my own bathroom. It was really nice. I was like, wow. And I felt so privileged. I'm like, this is where the fathers stay? Of course, I was like, well, can I bring my sage and my incense? And on the phone, she was like, well, when she called back and said, I got you your own room. She was like, I'm sure you can, because they use frankincense and myrrh in there. I'm like, they do? So I'm already happy. They incense this place. Already happy. And that's because, what you've seen the Oprah show when they had the thing on there about the priest and the allegations. I'm sure maybe if y'all my age, I've seen that Oprah show. I think Tyler Perry was on that particular show, and people in the audience who had a unpriestly experience, if you will. Even Lauryn Hill addressed it when she performed at the Vatican. I read that on her Wikipedia page. Some people think they still wait. That's why they came after with the tax or theory or conjunction theory. Okay, CYA. But anywho, so I was saging and doing all kinds of things because does he have a good spirit that slept in this bed? You gotta sea salt the bed and the mattress. Okay, consecrating the room. Okay, but the room was so cozy after I got it all together. I barely wanted to come out to group therapy because they had the group sessions in another part of the convent. And then there's the cafeteria. I'm thinking, even though it was December, it still wasn't snow. It was crisp and cold, but not that cold. I thought we would have outdoor activities. Don't ask me why. I just did. And then you get more details about that in the book when it's published. And then she had an exercise. I don't know, maybe this is when her assistant, before I even knew it was an assistant, sort of probably peeped it. The exercise with little baby dolls. You can get into the book and figure out what baby dolls. But I'm thinking about, she said this is Bible based. In the Bible, you're not supposed to use graven images. And I didn't think to judge them until they judged me. I'm like, they sat up in here and used graven images with water and baby dolls, and they talking about they judging me. The hypocrisy of church. And it's like a hypocrisy that they, you know, most hypocrites are aware that they're being hypocritical. They'll still get angry and be fighting mad because, you know, they're aware that they're being hypocritical. But it's like they're not even aware that they're being hypocritical. I'm like, but anyway, her assistant, after she told me in the cafeteria, I need to work with you. And I'm looking at her like, you do? You know, I paid my coin to the pastor. Who is this person? I'm thinking she's just another participant, like I said. Come to find out she's her assistant. And her name sounded like a fruit. I forget the name, but it had a fruity sound to it. I think one of my favorite fruits, too. I don't know. But the name was cool. That's enough for me to, you know, to be receptive to you. But I don't know. I wasn't rude, but I was reserved. I'm naturally reserved anyway. And I was careful not to speak out of turn in this group therapy. And they had a man there and a Caucasian lady there that cursed. And I'm like, she cursed in the convent. They didn't think to judge them, okay? But the man was talking about other things other than the topic. And I'm looking like, are they going to be mad at that? But no, this is how weird it gets, okay? Even the pastor, ex-friend, was talking to me when we talked about it afterwards over the phone. I was like, you know, I was reminded of how careful I was to stay in the subject line. And as you can see, I can digress really quickly. But this is here my little portal and outlet for now. But I was very mindful to stay on the subject matter. And he got to talking about, you know, the Kennedys and just weird things. I was like, how did that got to do anything? And then when people would be talking, she told us to not use the bathroom, or, you know, because people will feel like they're not important or their story isn't important. So stay focused when everyone is saying, having their say. Pardon the snoring, y'all, the bear, beloved bear, me, beloved bear. But anyhow, she said, try not to get up and use the bathroom. Try not to become distracted with your own papers or whatever, because people will feel like you're ignoring them. And the humanitarian I am, I'm not going to do that. You know, if I'm in a circle and we're talking and it's your time to talk, you have my undivided attention. So, not this guy, though. No offense to him, but, you know, but my point is there was someone else that this assistant could have said that to, if you get my gist. But I don't know, maybe it was something personal with me, with her, child. Anywho, so it was my turn to speak. I said my say. Then I finished my say, and I looked to the person to my left. It was their turn to talk. And I'm thinking it's going to flow around the circle. And before that person could start their say about whatever the subject matter was at the time, her assistant projects, not yells, but projects, and an upset, like she took umbrage of, I don't know, whatever my response was. She was like, you don't listen. And I'm in my early 40s, but I don't think she was in her 40s at all, maybe 30 something. And you can say it's my ego, you can say, well, I don't give a shit. I'm like, who are you? Listen to who? You? Child, please. The pastor 10 years older than my senior, I told you. And if she was coming at me like that, I wouldn't listen to her. And she 10 years my senior. So I'm looking at her like, first I'm wanting to say, well, in what context? I answered the question. Did I not answer it to your liking? Because, you know, her ego's inflamed right now. So I didn't say that, but I said, you know what? Let me just go with the flow, okay? I don't listen. Nope, I don't. And I won't, especially the dictators. And she just lost it. She was just beside herself with grief. You'd have thought I called her a bitch. She was just over it. You know, she was one of the ones that looked natural with the dreads. You know, a look that would make me feel like I could let my guard down and warm up to her. But I was like, no, not this dread here. But just really, really beside herself. Like I called her out her name. Like I projected towards her what she don't do. I'm like, no, I don't. And I won't, especially dictators. So after I said my piece, I returned to, you know, finished looking at her. We had the eye-to-eye contact. She was silent. Silence fell over the room for a little bit. So then I looked to the left for this woman to resume, you know, keep the conversation going. Resume, you know, what she was about to say. And then the pastor, my ex-friend and they ex-neighbor, said her piece, and then another Capricorn, a lesbian, she said her piece. She imparted her piece. about you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you're supposed to listen twice as much as you speak. And the first time I heard that, J-Lo said it in an interview. So I was like, oh, J-Lo. I don't know if the Capricorn made the connection. And Capricorn and Leo was a conjunction. J-Lo was a Leo. I don't know. But I was like, oh, J-Lo, okay. Yeah, I like that quote. I do like that quote. And I do listen twice as much when I'm twice as interested. And I guess the assistant really got offended. I don't know. I don't know. But then the pastor said her piece. So I'm like, oh, you came from New York on a mega bus. And as if I came that far, I should be able to get something out of it. You know, I should come and get my money's worth. I don't know what she meant by bringing up the megabus. And she moved up close to me in her chair to say that too. You took the megabus down here. Like, and the megabus was crowded. Keep in mind, that was a very, I think it still is a common method of transport. It's affordable. I think I think I even got a discount for that bus. My cousin was telling me, shout out to my cousin. Hey, T. Well, she's in Maryland, my cousin, you know, native New Yorker, but you know, I think I even paid a discount. They were teaching me how to get a discount, whatever the case may be. The pastor said it like that was foreign, like that was unusual to take the megabus. Well, she drives. Most drivers, I don't know, maybe they drive everywhere. Maybe she drives every time she goes to New York. I don't know. But, and she said it as if I came the lengthiest distance. And I looked at she told me somebody came from Atlanta, I think it was the Capricorn, and the guy and the Caucasian lady came up from Delaware. So when she said you came, you know, on the megabus and and I'm looking at her, and then I looked off quickly to the Capricorn, I think they came from Atlanta, and I looked over at the black man and the Caucasian that came from Delaware. Like, I'm not the only one who came from a distance, but I didn't get the point. I didn't get the point of being singled out as far as proximity and demographic is concerned in miles. I don't know. But again, she will tell you she has an advanced degree. She's an educated woman. So I'm still trying to search for the logic in what she's trying to convey and things of that nature. She says, oh, people don't take you seriously. And I said, you know what? That don't bother me. I love my lighthearted spirit. I love my light frequency. I love my lighthearted nature. And I said, you know what? And for them not to take me seriously, I looked over to her assistant with the fruity name and dreadlocks. I said, for them not to take me seriously, they be all so serious. They be so serious. I mean, steam. They be vexed. They took something seriously to get that vexed. I'm not sure what, but they took something. I think maybe, you know, when people can't control you, when they can't get a handle or angle on you and they can't control you, and an adult trying to control another adult is warped and sick and egoic and icky in and of itself. You know, control your underage children. Control them. Control yourself. You have any self-control? Start there. Ugh. But in the event, I think that's what that is. But I was like, you know, in my mind, you took the money seriously. I worked so hard to give to you. I think it goes to her church. You know, I think she said they have something like 800 members. Because I think she felt the way that she couldn't get people to get there to the event. I want to say, girl, that's our sign. But I know she don't talk astrology anymore. But and people had scholarships, you know, donations to go. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But to me, she had a nice crowd, maybe 12. I mean, it was 12 of us in the circle, 12, 13, including her, maybe, an assistant. I have no idea the count right now. So, back to the Capricorn lesbian who said that to me. No, nothing against lesbians. You read my memoir, I trust and believe you'll know I have no way I can have anything against especially AGs. No, y'all read the memoir for my 2 experiences. Never mind, you'll read the memoir. I just had to put that there because people throw around the homophobe thing in a minute. I'm like, how? I'm in no position to be nobody's homophobe. And homo means same, and phobe means fear, so that means same fear. I don't understand how they put that term on it. Just people who are disinterested are just disinterested. That's it. As long as they're not breaking any laws and committing any assault crimes, if someone's disinterested, that doesn't mean they're a homophobe. They're just disinterested. I don't like rhubarb. Does that make me a rhubphobe? I mean, it's just, ugh. I'm just not interested in rhubarb. That's it. I mean, what the hell? But anyway, just to give an example, just how disinterest could lead to all these other different labels. It's insane. It's like they're trying to bully you into being interested in something you're not interested in. Like they're trying to emotionally bully you into be interested and being interested in something you're not. It's like heterosexual shaming. Yeah, they should start that term. That trend. Heterosexual shaming. Normal shaming. I don't know. It's just, hey, I know they're saying what's normal. It's relative. I digress. Ooh, I digress. Hold on. Let me get some tea. This video could be a healing retreat for you, whomever this resonates well with, okay? You can retreat to this video when need be to feel better. Alrighty? Alrighty. If you don't feel better, don't retreat to it. You should have clicked off long ago. But anyway, so the Capricorn, I mentioned the J-Lo thing, and she was like, the assistant gonna yell out, "Oh, you're the common denominator." I said, "Of what?" I'm doing the math. I'm like, I paid my fee like everyone else. Well, aside from ones who got a donation, the charitable, the scholarship to get there. I'm like, of what? How? I don't. Like, this has been on her mind. Like, she's been sizing up my frequency since she got there, and she got there late. At least I was there on time. I'm like, of what? Huh? And then I said, well, you know what? Well, that's a 7. That is definitely a 7 frequency. That's like the 7th egg. You know what I mean? Look at the carton of eggs. Imagine a 7th edition. You're like, well, I guess the 6 eggs, like, if either we have to get an 8th egg to put some balance here, or we got to get rid of the 7th egg. So if you're a 7, just look at the 7th egg, a 7th egg carton, and be like, oh, that's what that is. Shout out to all the 7s, word. But it's strength in 7. Erica Badu named her firstborn that for nothing, okay? 7 ruled by Neptune, that has a Saturn frequency. Hold on, yeah. My tea is cold now. It's been an hour and 6 minutes. Anyway, so I look to the Capricorn and I say, she's saying, I said to the assistant, well, that's a 7. And I chuckled and laughed, not to mock her, but that's what came to me, was a very whimsical quip that Mayat sent me away. So I chuckled. Maybe she thought it was, I hope she didn't think I was mocking her. The ego is so frail. The thin skin sensitivities. Oh, Jesus. You initiate hostility, and no hostility is returned, but just sheer logic from my barometer. Okay? So no hostilities is returned, but, you know, the logic that I contain will be imparted. You do want to respond, so you just prefer to be ignored. I don't know. But anywho, so I looked at the Capricorn and say to her, or she says to me, well, put that aside. Put that aside for this. You know, we're doing this. You know, she's pointing to the Bible. We're doing this now, and I'm thinking of what's said about. I didn't write the Bible, but what's said about homosexuality in the Bible, and she's bigging up the Bible. We're doing this right now, so put that aside. And I'm like, well, put what aside? 7? 7 is noted in the Bible 700 times. The Bible didn't put the number 7 aside. There's a book called Numbers. When I was into Bible study heavy, I'm like, how can I put that aside when the Bible put it inside to the tune of 700 times? And of course, she's looking at me like I got 7 heads. I'm like, well, it's the truth. You can Google, because young people got that internet on their phone. They can Google on their phone. You can Google it. It's the truth. So the pastor, the ex-friend, ex-neighbor, she's intervening and I guess trying to calm me down, which is a misnomer in direction, because I'm not the one upset. The logical comportment you hear here and now in this video is the logical comportment I had in December 2011 in the convent. Okay, so she's trying to, I guess, talk me down or calm me down. No, calm down your perturbed assistant. Okay, she getting paid to assist you. Calm her down, okay? But she was very angry. Later on, when me and my ex-friend, ex-neighbor spoke on the phone about that. That happened in December, the retreat. We spoke in February around her birthday. And, yeah. Because I said happy birthday to her in the inbox. She didn't unfriend me on Facebook just yet. She did for this, though. I said inbox a happy birthday. And I scrolled all the way down because my hands were like heavy, like lead, trying to type happy birthday. I'm like, why is it so difficult for me to type happy birthday? And I said, oh, the retreat. So I scrolled spacebarred all the way down to have it as a separate thing from the happy birthday greeting, which was really sincere. But I said, I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to give you a reflection on that retreat that I paid $200 and something odd for. I really felt like it was called Healing Retreat, but I felt harangued more than healed on that retreat. And, I just told her how I felt. And I thought she would type back, you know, she's a pastor, you know, isn't her job to minister and ameliorate? I don't know. So I thought she would type back, but I got no reply. So I guess maybe she didn't see it. But Facebook had the thing back then where it says seen. So I saw the scene. I'm like, no, they saying she saw it. So I said, oh man, I guess but for a pastor not to be pastoral, for someone who paid into your church, you know what I mean? Because she's on the phone. I don't get the money, and you know, goes to the church, but I'm like, but I'm sure it still makes you look good if you can get, you know, because the head pastor, I'm sure he has the ego. He or she will runs that church. I'm sure it's still in good stead if you can get good, you know, people. We'll get people to pay. And no. And she knows she's talking. And it didn't feel very pastoral. I guess because I'm her neighbor. Because at one point she said, this is, you know, she said her first name. You know, because I'm still trying to talk to her as a pastor. She was like, no, talk to me as, and she said her name. You know, no, we're still, you know, sisters. I got in that brief glimpse moment. You know, be yourself, talk like, you know, don't use profanity, but just talk, you know, plain. But anywho, but she did say the assistant left. She just left. She was so pissed off that next morning she just left. And it was weird. After that group session, I went to my room and showered and prepared for dinner. The nuns, you know, they have a schedule when you can eat, and that's it. They clean the kitchen. I said, you ain't get no food. That's it. They had good spaghetti, too. I digress. But anyway, so I got showered and prepared. Plus, I wanted to wash off the icky energy of that group session. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? What the hell going on? That was weird. But get this, the assistant waited for me. Everyone else went into the cafeteria to wait for dinner. I don't know if they went and showered first, then my business. I know for people who are detailed, like, what, did everybody wash it? I have no idea. This isn't my business. I didn't smell anyone, so I'm not alluding to anything shady. But they were all already in the cafeteria seated, waiting for their dinner and stuff. And the assistant waited for me in the hallway. There's like a little hallway before you get to the cafeteria when you come out of that office. And she hugged me. No words. She just hugged me, like not an apology hug, please forgive me hug. Not even a hug, I forgive you for whatever imaginary thing she thought I did. And you know how I think it was just something with her? Because after I said my piece and looked to the left for the, you know, to listen to the next person to say theirs, no one else looked at me strangely or paused at whatever my say was. There was no profanity, anything, vulgarity, nothing like that. It's a convent. She seemed to be the only one stuck by my words. It was flowing until she interjected, you don't listen. I'm like, well, huh? But anywho, so the hug, and you know, of course, I must have stiffened and resisted because it was weird that she would wait and delay and lag behind versus joining everyone else in the cafeteria. The hug was more or less of, I don't know, you would bend to my will, or some kind of contact. I studied the whole I'm calling her vampire. You know, she's a melanated sister. But you study about vampiric energy. Is YouTube videos you can study if you want. But it was like, you won't agree with me. It's Blue Pill and KT Arch Degree has it. A recent video called Quantum Something. Check it out. But they're talking about racism. Like, I'm forcing you to you study law, you know what intercourse is, how they see it in law, not just, you know, sex with vagina and penis, or sexual body parts, not that, pardon me. It's intercourse they could see conversation as intercourse. Do you see what I'm saying? Because conversation is conversion. And conversing, you're possibly converting. So it depends on the person manipulating you in conversation. I don't know. Not sincere, honest conversation. I don't think there's any intent to convert you to something. Although that could still happen, but more organically and naturally. But the hug was, it was like, you will submit to me or bend to my will. It didn't feel right. It wasn't an apology hug. It wasn't even it wasn't a I forgive you hug, and a damn sure wasn't will you forgive me hug. It was, I'm gonna connect with you, and it wasn't a forceful hug like a bear, like come here girl. No, it wasn't a bear hug. She's slim, wouldn't feel like a bear no how. But it was a hug. I wouldn't even say it was a charitable pity hug. She may qualify it as such, you know, to save face. It just was a hug like, you will bend to my will. Yet it wasn't forceful. I didn't feel snatched. And I ain't talking about no girdle or waist trainer. I'm talking about, I don't know. I'm going to force my will on you some kind of way, even if it's under disguise of a Christian embrace. I don't, I wasn't resisting strong. I don't want to be rude. We're in a convent, but I can feel myself resisting on organic auto. And, you know, I was like, oh, we better, you know, we pull a party. Oh, we better get our dinner before it gets cold. And I went to the cafeteria and sat way away from her and had my dinner. Hold on, some tea. So, that wasn't a very, then you give back the dolls. I'm thinking you do something else with the dolls. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't wrote on one doll. I'm just, because they give you the dolls to sleep with overnight. And never mind. And the only thing, I wrote about that I wrote about this experience because it's my experience. I paid for it, literally, in fiat. And semi-humiliation. Logic could keep me from seeping way into the humiliated, sunken place, if you will. But, the logic I carry, not what you carry, what I carry. If I didn't wrong you, and I didn't speak out of turn, and I didn't even judge anyone, I was speaking to my own personal experiences in that circle. So it was no judgment on anyone. I'm speaking to my own, which was what was called for, to speak to your own personal experience in the circle, within the theme. This is all in the email she sent. These are the guidelines. But what she didn't have as guidelines in the email was NDA, non-disclosure agreement, of which I didn't even know that was possible with your own personal healing experience. But I wrote about it on Facebook, and I think that's what made her unfriend me. That's fine. That's very pastoral. It's fine. Guess we're still human with an ego at the end of the day, huh? But no shade, but I'm saying. But anyhow, I wrote about it to vent, not to hurt. And I didn't mention anyone's names, like I'm not mentioning names in this video. But it's still, your story is yours. It's still my experience that I literally paid for on a very tight budget. I think a utility bill had to wait. You got to pay late fees and carry on for that. So I wrote about it to vent and get it off my chest. I forgot what I titled it, but it's on my Facebook in notes. Remember notes? Anyone still use their notes? I don't know. I got to make sure all my notes is to my hard drive. I'm so wanting to deactivate the Facebook account. There's still certain family members that I don't really talk to over the phone. No beef, but, you know, we're just not phone buddies. So I like to check up on them and see how they're doing. And I reply. They know I'm looking at their page. So you keep Facebook for your favorite family members and favorite Facebook friends, and, you know, who give you cool posts and great commentary and subject matter. Hold on. Yeah, so I gotta I think most is on my hard drive in my notes, but I gotta make sure they're all on there before I deactivate. You know, that being to be in Facebook heaven, or hell, wherever they do their archives. We give these social media outlets a lot of our creative prowess, if you will. But anywho, so I wrote about it in notes. I don't know if I called it a healing retreat or the haranguing retreat. I don't know what I called it, but I spoke my piece, and she, I don't know if she wrote on that thread. You know, certain Facebook friends did and family, but I think I know she definitely inboxed me, and we spoke about it over the phone too. She was like, I have to get. I guess that was and you think the lesson for her to learn there is that someone paid for a retreat and walked away more hurt than healed. You would think that would be the lesson a minister would pick up. Not from what she told me on the phone. The lesson she got from my notes, my blog and notes on Facebook, was that she has to get non-disclosure forms. She was like, no, you're not supposed to talk about what happened in the healing retreat. I'm like, I would think you're not supposed to talk about what happened to other people, their testimony in your blog. But I can certainly talk about what happened to me in my blog. I didn't mention any names. Oh, but you're making the retreat look bad. I'm like, how so? I didn't mention the name of the church. I didn't mention your name. I didn't mention anything. So how am I making the retreat look bad? We don't have any mutual friends. We don't. We have no mutual friends on Facebook. We don't think we have any mutual friends at all. Unless we talk about the old neighborhood in Queens, whom I'm sure she's not in contact with those folks anymore. Nor am I, that I could think of. Just one person. Hey, Mama, Leo. Hey, sweetie. But other than that, no. I'm like, so who would it look bad to? I think, again, we go into ego. Pastor, no pastor's ego. I'm not going to call her a bully, but a bully feels like I should hurt you and you should have nothing to say about it. To me or to anyone else. They want you to have your silence, suffer in silence. I'm not saying that's the pastor. I would hope not. But that is definitely how a bully's marbles spin, and reverse, dented, and demented. They really think they could hurt you, get away with it, and you not say anything. But conflict creates debt. That's the International. Watch that movie. The banker says it. Conflict creates debt. The universe knows there's an imbalance. So in writing that blog, I'm striking a balance, and I think that strikes a nerve. And not calling her bully, for lack of a better example, that strikes a nerve in the bully. How dare you strike a balance to this? No, you just sit in silence, suffering, and that's it. And I would hope a pastor doesn't have that type of mentality. But yeah, she really felt a ways that I wrote about my experience on Facebook. A pastor now. I'm like, but it was my experience to write about. I wasn't a peeping Tom staring in the window and writing about someone else's experience. I wrote about my own. I don't get it. No, but those things are sacred. They should be left, you know. She didn't say what happened in Vegas, stay in Vegas, or what happens in the convent, stay in the convent type of tease. But I was getting a sense that she was saying what happens in a healing retreat should stay at the healing retreat. But I'm thinking about what Afeni Shakur said in her book that Jasmine Guy wrote, Evolution of a Revolutionary. The pain is in the secrets. I'm paraphrasing. That's a good book. I have to read it again. I read it when it first came out and got it out the library. I think I have to buy it. That's a book you want to keep. But yeah, no, I didn't even, it didn't even dawn on me that was secret. Do you see what I'm saying to you? You're in not a convent isn't public, but you're at you're around strangers you just met. She's the only one I've known. I knew personally from the 90s. So I didn't even know that was secret, in quotes. But again, I said no names. I didn't even mention the name of the convent. I said no names of churches, no names of people. I don't even know if I used pseudonyms. I just told my experience. And she didn't like it. So I guess if she still gives the retreats, there's an NDA. There's another... I'm going to get to that in a minute. I guess this would be long. Can it go up to 2 hours? I'm not sure. You can click off if you get bored. But anywho, let me tie up this convent one. So there, I remember I was walking around the convent because I wanted to see the grounds and things. And I met a lanky Caucasian guy with glasses, wirely glasses. And he was saying he was at a retreat downstairs. I'm like, there's other retreats going on in the building at the same time? Wow, cool. It's a big building. I couldn't imagine why not. He said, yeah, because he wanted to get out of the building to smoke, I think. And then he wanted to get out and talk. And I guess on his cell phone, I guess he had an emergency call. So you couldn't talk. At this silent retreat, you couldn't talk downstairs where they were. Just a silent retreat. You know what I mean? You sit in a circle and meditate or whatever they were doing down there. But I get the sense it was righteous. But no talking in that area. So some silent retreats, I believe, is no talking, period, wherever you walk around grounds or not. But that one, you have to leave, get out the building entirely to talk, smoke, or whatever have you. But they didn't encourage too much talking. Like, emergency, check on your family, etc., etc. So I'm like, are you kidding me? I've been wanting to do a silent retreat for so long. And I told him about the Odd Couple episode. And he was like, I think I remember that. And we were laughing. And he was like, yeah, it's downstairs. You can come. You can join. I'm like, well, how much is it? And he said, just a love donation. Just like the one I heard about in upstate New York, a love donation. I'm like, just a love donation? Wow. I said, the one I'm in was a set fee. He said, really, a set fee for a healing retreat? Most of them are love donations. I said, no, this one is a set fee. And you could tell he wanted to say how much, but that would be uncouth, I guess, so he didn't ask. But had he asked, I would have told him over $200, okay? But he didn't. I guess he sees self-control. Here we go. And he's Caucasian male. They're ruled by Aries. Caucasians, period. Aries. Males, Aries. Of any race, Aries. And he exercised self-restraint and not ask me how much that retreat was. Because, set fee. Because I guess the ones he's attended has always been a love donation, not a set price. But I don't knock the ones with a set price, You have a budget, Churches have budgets, building funds. Hold on. And, yeah, no. I read the Kabbalah and the 3 initiates, the law of exchange. No, I'm all for balance. So I'm not scorning paying a set rate or whatever the case may be. If you don't want to pay it, don't go is my motto. But my thing is, if someone did pay, honor that. If you can't respect them as a human being, respect that fiat. They paid. That means they're keeping your outfit afloat. You know what I mean? Making it so you have a budget to have more retreats. You know, honor someone who pads your budget. Logically. You know what I mean? I don't even know if they had Google. Imagine if they had Google reviews with the church's name for their retreat and I put it there. And that's what I'm saying. People's like, well, at least you didn't put it on the internet itself as a review with the church's name in it and all this and all that. You have a right to write that in your own notes with no names attached. Huh? So my friends can understand her umbrage with my notes. She said she should be upset of how you was treated. A paying guest. You know, I said, chill. I can't call it. But everybody I spoke to, loved ones, you know, again, it's my story to share. Don't you share your life experiences with your family and friends? Let's manage our hypocrisies better, okay? Manage our hypocrisies better. But in speaking to my family and friends, they were really, especially ones who are Christians, they was like, y'all use baby dolls and bowls of water? And that's another thing. Over the phone, she was like, I added something to the baby doll or to the water. And I couldn't remember. I wasn't being cagey and withholding or resistant. I was like, I did? She said, yeah, you came in with it. You did something to the water and you know, with water and da-da-da-da. And I'm on the phone like, was that whole exercise Bible-based? But I didn't say it because I didn't want to upset her ego. But she's upset. Well, she was put off that I added something to the experiment, or whatever it was. But I know it wasn't no Bible base. And I'm on the phone. You know how you stare at the phone and bring it back to your ear? I'm like, that whole exercise had nothing to do with the Bible. So whatever I did was par for the course. It was less, as far as the Bible school is concerned, it was less weighty than the whole experiment. So that's what friends and family were really, really bugging out about. Y'all dealt with baby dolls and water. And you sure that was Bible-based? I'm like, that's what she said on the phone, is Bible-based. That's what she said there. We read some scripture. And then she had a little church thing over the phone. Over the phone, she knew I still was into astrology and whatever. But then at the end, you had a church thing where she's near the end, and she's handing you the Bible, like, do you accept Lord and Savior Jesus Christ as your... And I'm like, she's known that I've already went through that process at my mama's church as a little girl. Maybe she forgot. But we were talking in her house on a late night, and I told her that I already did that at my mama's church as a little girl, a young girl, junior high school age. So why she's asking me to do this, and then she was like, there's no judgment and no pressure, and I'm looking at her like, when, you know, she's in my face asking me this in front of the other participants. I said, well, I'm still studying. I was polite, you know, very polite. I'm like, I'm still studying, you know, which is the truth. I'll be a perpetual student studying all day, every day. Well, not all day, but, you know, most of the day, just studying something. So that was truth. But I was like, when I tell you, I felt no healing, but I did feel more educated. I mean, it was your experience is the best teacher, okay? I felt more educated, but no. There was another, in closing, we finished with the convent, that one, typo on that, okay? As a present to whoever's interested in receiving the wisdom in that gift, okay? But there was another one a sister had in her backyard in Queens. It's not a healing retreat. It was just a one-day thing. It was a fire. She had a fire pit. It was a breathing. She does breath work. She's a Sag. And she said that it was $50 per person. I'm such a foodie. Even though in this context, I knew there were to be refreshments. It'd probably be vegan and, you know, healthy refreshments. But I try to, again, I'm always trying to find the logic. So Papa goes with me to this one. And he's like, it's $50 per person to sit in her backyard. Why? You know, our budget is lean. Even I think if we were millionaires, we were trying to be trying to figure out, well, why is it $50 a person in her backyard? What's the overhead? I don't understand. I'm like, I don't know. All I could think is to be refreshments. Maybe she'll have finger food afterwards. And Pop was like, oh, okay. So, alrighty. So we had it at the time. So we went, and I like who I met her through. I like this sister a lot. So, you know, I guess it's the birds of a feather. I'm thinking, and this woman whose breath work is not mean and nasty, but I sat there because it was about a good 12 or 13 people there too. So I'm sat there and I'm like, if each one of them paid $50 a piece, she made a cute little piece of change today. Not that I'm in anyone's pocket, but again, like Papa said, why $50 per person? He was like, first he thought $50 per couple. He gave the side eye. He was like, oh, okay, so 25 to 20, not bad. And I'm like, no, per person. $50 per person to be in her backyard? I'm like, Papa. He said, to breathe? I said, I think she's teaching us how to breathe correctly, you know, things of that nature. He said, you can learn that on YouTube. Papa. Let's just, it's a sister. Let's, you know, support, you know, buy black and, you know, melanated. And I'm at an hour and 30 minutes show. Let me just do this last one. I'll do Costa Rica another time. I mean, another video. If I'm inspired at that time. I'm inspired for this one now. So he goes, yeah, so we go and we pay, and we had just hit the number too, so we're feeling good. We hit the number, not for millions, you know. I don't even know if I'd be doing videos hitting the number winning for millions, but it was a cute little number day, and so we had it. So we went on ahead and paid, and went and you pay afterwards, and it was beautiful. It's in my old neighborhood in Queens, and one of my old neighborhoods I lived in, and it was, you know, just to go back, good to go back to the neighborhood, and nice backyard. We chilled. We sat around the fire talking for a little bit before we started the breathing work. And the fire burnt one of my favorite skirts too. A Hervé denim skirt. I had this skirt for years. Love that skirt. I had it so long I don't remember where I bought it from. You know what those? It would feel like I bought it from a thrift shop. One of those Upper East Side thrift shops, the good ones, because it's Hervé. Beautiful denim skirt. And no one's fault but my own. I must got too close to the fire, and it's burnt my, or the fire got too close to me. I don't know, and it burnt my skirt. And I put an offering of joss paper, ancestor money, and I shared with everyone. I said, you know, you burn this for your ancestors, because she was like, you know, we stand around the fire, and you know, include who you want into the, you know, the circle, and whatnot. So I was talking about that, and Papa told me she looked offended that you brought an offering. I'm like, Sag, fire. Because who would be offended? I gave her joss paper too. Well, of course, she's the hostess. I'm like, who would be offended by in the spiritual circles? We know what ancestor money is. You can look at videos for it. Joss paper. We know what that is. So I'm like, what spiritual person would be offended by joss paper? But in that moment, she told me she never heard of it. She was like, I never heard of it. So and these ladies went shared that they used to be down with Yala Van Zandt thing in Maryland. Yeah, they used to go to her retreats and workshops. So I'm thinking, I'm sure Iyanla knows about Joss. Maybe she doesn't. But I would think Iyanla knows about ancestor money. But she was like, no. They were like, no. I think most of the circle was like, no, we never heard of it. I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I was sharing that, what it is, and I shared it with them. And told them what to do, you know, what they, you know, not telling them what to do, recommending what they can do with the joss paper before they burn it for their ancestors. And Papa, you know, oblivious me, just into the talk of what it is. Papa's like, he looked at, you know, he looked at her face. He's very, very intuitive and perceptive. He looked at her facial expression. He was like, I don't think she was too thrilled that you brought an offering. I'm like, why? You should not supposed to go to people's house empty-handed. He said, technically, we didn't go in the house. We just came around to the backyard. I'm like, but still, I like to always bring, if I come to your house for the first time, especially if I think you're going to feed me, there's food there, I like to bring something, wine, cookies, or dessert from a bakery. This time I brought ancestor money because I know it's a spiritual event. Anywho, I wanted to bring my niece too, and she was like, no kids, and you know, things that, I guess, you know, kids would be distracting. But I was like, my niece is very mature, no, and spiritual. But I left it alone. You say no. That's it. I don't want no one feeling unwanted, not no child, especially one in my family. You know, because then things can go from spiritual to surly, and you know, the beef is on. Hold on, get that. Well, that tea is cold. This type of tea should not be cold. But anywho, it's still it's a wet libation for the parch. Anywho, so we're in the cipher, and she's doing what the pastor in the previous story didn't do. That she's saying she's going to start doing after reading my thing in notes. So she's going around the circle, the Sagittarius, and the fire backyard, just going around in a circle, and had a beautiful Benz parked too. So I'm like, Pop, I don't think she need the money. Maybe it's the $50 is some sort of ritual, numerology, spiritual. He was like, looking at the Benz and looking at me and looking at the $50. Papa, never mind. But anywho, so yeah, so she's going around in a circle asking everyone, what you learn here in this circle stays here in this circle. Do you agree? And we're all saying we agree. You know, yes, I agree. What we learned in the circle stay. And again, I'm not breaching the contract. I'm speaking to my experiences. What I learned in the circle from other people and their experiences will not be repeated in this video or anywhere. It hasn't been. And that happened back in that was either 2014 or 2015. I still lived in New York. I would say 2015, maybe. Yeah. So no, I've not breached that contract. But again, First Amendment, I can speak to my own experience. And had I not been offended, it wouldn't be nothing to speak about. Not in this context. You know what I'm saying? So she gets the Papa. He my Papa Bear. I need to speak to my experience. She gets my Papa, and whom she doesn't know personally. But being that he's not used to being interrogated, especially at a spiritual event, or asking to contract with you. Again, conversation is conversion. So, and he worked in law enforcement. He's used to doing the interrogation. If anything, he's not used to that coming his way. That's where he retired from. Is that TMI? Oh gosh. People retire all the time. It's no big deal. But from all factions of employment. But anywho, but he's not accustomed to being approached this way, and he got paid $50 for this too, for this discomfort. He was too thrilled. So and he's quiet. I know opposites attract in this sense. Truthfully, I'm chatty. He's quiet. He's very quiet, and he doesn't speak in mixed company. He doesn't like it too tough. He has to really trust you, let his guard down. Especially in conversation, you got to trust you, let his guard down just to listen to you, just give you an ear, let alone his words. You know what I mean? Let me get some tea. Y'all hear him snoring? You hear the bear? You hear the bear? I don't know if I hear. Anywho, so I like to do these videos when he sleeps because I'm in his personal space, and he look a little annoyed and perturbed when I do that, and he's up and about like I need to sit there. What are you doing? But anywho. Because my laptop and the mouse, and I don't give a shit. But I have to explain to him why I come over here. Back to the point. So she gets the Papa Bear, and she says, asking the same question in agreement. I know you're like, why she didn't just do it in unison? And I all say I agree in unison. In unison, I guess you said, no, I'm going to ask each individual, what you learn here about others stays here in this circle, this fire circle. And she's a fire sign and a fire. I thought that was so dope, though. Anytime fire signs are doing something with fire, I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's just an astro thing. But anywho, so he pauses, he hesitates, and then he says, yes, I agree. So I'm thinking she's gonna go on to the next person and ask them the same question, but no, she stays there right with him and goes, well, why did you hesitate? So now it's getting confrontational. She didn't yell anything, but it was stern. It was like, why did you? She doesn't know you. She doesn't know him personally. Maybe he hesitates. He's not wordy and he's not speech saturated. If you know a person personally, you'll know why they hesitate with interrogatory frequency. I don't know. So she asked, why did you hesitate? So he's hesitating again with that question. So it's time for me to insert myself because I'm the one who brought him to this affair, and I didn't bring him to feel uncomfortable. And it's reflexive to take up for yours. Wouldn't you take up for yours? He's not chatty, but I am. So before he can, he's hesitating to answer that. So I says, well, he's not really verbose like that. And this chick shushes me. She looked back at me. Shh, let him answer. I'm like, huh? What? Huh? I couldn't believe that she's commanding. Now, you can command the floors. You're the hostess. But you commanding, say, from my man. And I don't know if she's single or not, but I'm sure if you have a man, you would be a bit put off if I were interrogating him like that, too, at whether it's my function or not. I'm like, is this sad you lose her mind? Did she shush me when it's something to do with mine? So I still kept talking. I'm like, no, he's not verbose. He's not being hesitant because he plans on breaching the contract. He's just not verbose. And he's not you know, quick in speech like that. And I think he was a little offended that I said he's not quick in speech like that. But I'm trying to give her, you know, give her mind some ease and rest your heart assured he's not going to repeat or relay anything he hears here in this circle. That's not even his style. He's military and kept those secrets till this day, and I think he'll keep them forever. He still ain't telling me about military experiences. Oh, I can't tell you. I'm like, why the fuck not? Well, I took an oath. You've been out of the military for years. So what? You still take an oath? To his grave, certain things he's going to keep. Okay, that's just his nature. That's his nature. Okay, so I don't know if she thought that he was hesitant because he may say something, but no. But he's hesitant because he's not used to being interrogated. Because you wouldn't know that because you don't know him. But being that I know him, let me go ahead and speak up. So I'm like, is this boy crazy? Oh, Jesus. So she finally moves on about her way and shit. Oh, and as the ceremony, the fire thing, you know, we still talking and unwinding, and then we finally get into the breathing thing. We do the breathing exercises. After the breathing exercises, we get to chitty chat and talking around the circle again, which was cool. It was a lot of cool moments in that chitty chat around the circle, especially after the breathing exercise. And another sister, and I think she's a Sag too. What was the date with the Sages? I don't know, because you know I got signs, honey. But I think she's a Sag. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. Because Papa's sun sign is quincux with Sag. If I'm not mistaken, I gotta look it up again. I should know it's Astro Mama, right? But she wanted to talk to him directly too, and he hesitated again. And with fire, I guess the hesitation is putting off, because if you're a native New Yorker too, and Papa's not a native New Yorker, we're born with quick speech, we're quick witted, and we quick speech, quick witted. It's just quick. Hip hop was born in for that reason, in my opinion, among other magical reasons. Mysterious. Shout out to Black Dot's book, Hip Hop Decoded. He called it a mystery. Hold on. A T. Anyway, so yeah, so being a native New Yorker and you're a fire sign, and someone doesn't answer you back quickly, as quick as you gave the question, you may be put off. Like, what do they have to hide? He has nothing to hide from you. He doesn't even know you. Just because he has nothing to hide don't mean he has anything desired to share anyway, especially at the speed you needed to come to you. So I didn't say that, but this is what I'm thinking. Don't you take up for yours? I take up for mine. It is natural and reflexive, okay? And especially with the guilt that I brought him here. It's not an event he brought me to. I brought him to this thing. It is wonder why he be like, do I have to go to that thing? I don't want to go. I'll drive you. I'll wait in the car. You going to wait in the car that long? I'll wait in the car. I'll take you. I'll wait in the car. I'll drive around. I'll come back and get you. But now I see why he'd be like, no, I don't want to go in. Because these weird experiences. So again, I inserted myself. And when it comes to Papa, I don't even think it's an insert. We're one. Talking to him, you are talking to me. But I don't want to say that because I want to be rude in a spiritual circle, okay? So I answered for him again. And I think that Sag said, why won't you let him talk? It's not that I won't let him. I just don't think he's talking at the speed that's desired. But I have that speed because I'm born. And I said that because I'm born here. So I have the speed that may be desired. And they're looking at me with, you know, like I got 5 heads, like the speed desired. Huh? I'm like, he and I are one. We're one. And I had a cute little smile. And they had the blank stare. You leave mine alone because I don't mess with yours and won't. Okay? Okay, and it wasn't like they were asking rude questions, but it was, well, he does have, from what I've been told, I'm not bragging, he has a mysterious, intriguing look about him. I've been told that on several occasions by different people. So I don't know, but it could have been a quincux thing. I have no idea. And I have no qualms with him responding to people in his time and in his pace, if he so choose. But when he becomes hesitant and has a trepidation, and I know him very well, over 10 years now, I sense the discomfort, and I insert myself, or I speak up rather, because he doesn't see it as an insertion, because I'm with him. The other people do, because they want to have control over him and them in that moment. They want to control the dialogue that they initiated with him. But when you're with him, you're with me. We're one. And if they have a mate, I'm sure they should get that. They should get that concept, if you can call it that, if you will. But anyway, but that was another $50, $100 with the both of us experience that I'm like, alrighty, I don't feel healed. Feel more semi-harangued than healed, semi-healed. But again, like my mom always said, college tuition is college tuition is expensive for that learning experience. So other learning experiences outside of the formal thing we call college can be expensive too. Sometimes in fiat as well, which I call cash. Anyway, that hour and 45 minutes here. That'll close out this whole healing retreats, my experience. And I just gave y'all 2 thus far. Yeah, volume 1. I don't know if there'll be a volume 2. But yeah, I do go to them. I pay and I go. I haven't been to one in a while. I guess you're like, after these experiences, what the hell for? But I like them. I like the idea of a trip where you can sort of foster your evolving desire, you know. Hopefully expedite it, evolving, okay. But let me go. Wholeness, wellness, and healing vibrations. Yes, I've listened to 7. I don't listen to them anymore like I used to. I used to listen to Savon too. Wholeness, wellness, and healing vibrations. Ashe.